And you're listening to 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester, Massachusetts, the Dr. Chris Radio of Horror program. And on the show with us now is one of the people behind the band that I met at Pax East, the Triforce Quartet, a group of musicians that plays interesting video game themed songs. And on with us now is the celloist from the band, Chad. Thanks for coming on the show with us, Chad.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
How did the band get formed? Are you one of the original band members?
I am. It's kind of a funny story. It just kind of happened by accident. I was a music major at James Madison in Virginia, and I had my senior recital coming up, and I had it downloaded on like LimeWire or Napster or something a really long time ago, an MP3 by Hyrule Symphony. It was a Zelda medley. I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. It was a string quartet playing Zelda music, and I always loved chamber music, so I really wanted to play it. I looked everywhere for the music, couldn't find it, so I just listened to it by ear and figured out all the parts, and then kind of last minute put it together. I had some friends to play with it, and then I had my friend film it on YouTube, and then put it up on YouTube, and then it just blew up that summer because this was in 2006, and it was like before YouTube and everything was really popular. It was one of the first kind of video game covers on YouTube, so it got really popular, and then it was, that just blew up. It got 1 million views, and I thought it was awesome. So then I started arranging a Mario medley and a Final Fantasy medley, and then a couple years later, I was invited to play at the Art of Video Games exhibit in DC. And then after that, we were invited to play at MagFest, and then it just kind of has blown up from there. So, kind of been just a crazy ride.
So how did you like Pax East this year?
I thought it was great. I wish I was able to participate more, but we always have like these grand expectations. We're gonna, get up early and try to wait in line, but we end up just having to stay at our merch booth most of the time. So we can't do that much, but we were able to wander around a little bit, and it's always just incredible how many people are there and how excited everybody is about video games, and it's just a lot of fun being in an atmosphere like that.
Name some of the songs that are from the Triforce Quartet.
Make some of the sounds?
No, name some of the songs.
Oh, songs. That makes a lot more sense. Well, let's see. We kind of just have been building our repertoire, I guess. Let's see. We got, with Triforce Quartet, so we have a Zelda medley, which has about, 15 or so themes in there. We have Final Fantasy medley and Mario medley. Those are probably our most well-known tracks. Then we also have a Final Fantasy boss medley, which is new, which is a lot of fun. We have other themes from Banjo-Kazooie, Blades of Steel, Chrono Trigger, Civilization 4, Smash Brothers, Sonic, Tetris, let's see, Pokemon, Mega Man, Kingdom Hearts, Halo. So we got a lot of stuff, and we're always adding to it. So at this point, we at least have a couple hours worth of music that we can play.
What were some of your favorite video games growing up?
I would say I always go back and forth when people ask me this. One of my two favorite RPGs of all time are Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI because, I grew up classically trained, and I thought that they had the best soundtracks that I've ever heard, and also the themes are very romantic in nature. That it really affected me a lot. So those are definitely two of my favorite RPGs that affected me musically. So probably the best influence for Triforce Quartet, I think.
My favorite music scores are from all of Konami's Castlevania video games.
Oh my gosh, that's definitely a top request, is to get a Castlevania theme. I probably should work on one of those. I played Super Castlevania. That's the only Castlevania that I played.
I think I played almost all of them, and I have definitely been a ginormous fan of Castlevania for many, many years. I have a Castlevania tattoo on my arm.
Nice. Do you have like a theme that you like the most, or a soundtrack that you like the most?
I like the music from I like the opening music from Symphony of the Night, and I do like the theme Vampire Killer done different ways.
You have like a favorite, or like a group that does it that you really like the way that they do it, or?
I've enjoyed Shoto Nakama's video game orchestra doing it.
Oh, cool.
Shota has been on the show a couple times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do something for Castlevania. There's so many people that have recommended it.
Absolutely.
It's just like an endless amount of stuff that I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great stuff. What is the next convention you guys are going to be at throughout the year?
We actually have a really big one coming up next week. We're playing in Dublin at the iDig Music Festival. I don't exactly know how it happened, how we ended up going there, but I think what happened is that someone, or Emer Nunn, who is the one who composed the World of Warcraft soundtrack, the newest sketch that just came out, and she was also she was the director of the Symphony of the Gods tour that went around. She kind of just sent out a feeler saying, if I organize this music festival, people go. And then it just kind of went from there. And then someone just tweeted, "Oh, Triforce Quartet would be perfect for this." And then I saw it, and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's just amazing," because it's exactly what would be perfect for us. There are all these composers there, and Video Games Live is going to be there, and so we ended up talking to them, and yeah, now we're going. So that's next week, or I guess a week and a half, 2 weeks, a week and a half to 2 weeks. So I'm really excited about that.
What do you think of the upcoming Legend of Zelda series on Netflix?
I do not know what to think, and part of me thinks that it's not real, and it's just, I don't know, internet hype or something. And then the other part of me just remembers like the disaster when they tried to do it the first time. I mean, everyone was like making the excuse me princess joke, so I'm sure they're going to avoid that. But I think that the biggest reason why it's hard to believe is that Nintendo has been, or as the Zelda series has gone on, Link has always been the silent protagonist. So I don't know how they're going to deal with that in a TV show. I don't know. I mean, I want to be excited, but I'm so pessimistic that I don't understand how it'll be good. But if it comes out, I hope it's good. So, it'll be interesting, I guess.
Do you think if it does well, it'll pave the way for video games to finally be done correctly? Like the way the first X-Men and Spider-Man movie kind of paved the way for the Marvel renaissance that we have going on right now?
That's for sure. I mean, it's hard for me to even imagine that happening. That'd be insane to kind of like bridge the gap of video games and movies. Because there just have never really been a good video game movie adaptation I can think of at all. They've all been mediocre to terrible.
Well, the newest, the Mortal Kombat Reborn thing on Machinima was very successful, and it's been renewed for a third season now.
Oh, yeah? Well, I guess I was thinking of movies.
Well, same thing. I mean, movies and TV, they both sucked on video games, including cartoon. I mean, the exception of God, I think Sonic the Hedgehog, they both... I mean, anime is kind of hit or miss. And I don't want to kind of incorporate cartoons into this too much because obviously a video game is pretty much a cartoon that you play. So I don't want to say that video games in cartoons has sucked, but
are you talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog series when that was like in the 90s?
Yeah, did you ever watch it? It was on ABC and it was really dark.
Yeah. I definitely remember watching it. I mean, it's hard for me to remember if it was good because I was, young. I thought it was good.
I thought the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was really good. This wasn't the really kind of slapsticky Looney Tune one. This was the very kind of dark one. And I remember someone said that the actor who played Steve Urkel was the voice of Sonic.
What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I would have to look into that. that'd be ridiculous. What is his name? Like Jaleel White or something? Does that sound right? I don't know if I'm making that up.
Yeah, I think that's his name. What do you guys have coming up that you're working on?
So I guess well, we just finished getting ready. We have a Dragon Age theme which we played at Pax East, so that was brand new. And the other brand new one that we did was the new Smash Brothers theme. And then now we're working on something from the new World of Warcraft expansion that just came out, so that we can play it at the I Dig Music Festival, because the composers who wrote it are there. So we're like, oh, it'd be a great idea to get something together that they've done before. So that's what we're working on now. And then after that, there's a Zelda romance theme from from Skyward Sword that we're doing. And then we're still open for a couple ideas. We've had a lot of requests for Castlevania. I've had requests for Kirby and Chrono Trigger. And there's one more that people request all the time. Can't think of. So, Mario Kart Rainbow Road is another one of the things I'm doing. So that's kind of on the horizon. We'll see what happens.
I think the second favorite video game series is Resident Evil, and it's kind of redeemed itself with the Revelations 2. It's been kind of hit or miss the last couple of years since 4. And then, of course, Dead Space. But I don't think Dead Space really has a theme.
Yeah, well, so there are a lot of games that like you play and they're great, but they have a lot of kind of like ambience or backgroundish kind of mood-setting tones that aren't really melodic. And so that kind of stuff is really hard to cover, because if you're playing it, first of all, it's really hard to work with string instruments, and also it's not that interesting to listen to when it's kind of a focal point. Like if you're just watching us kind of just play random notes and backgroundy stuff, that's not interesting for the audience, so it's hard to do something like that.
I think from Dead Space, their theme, maybe for the first one, would have been Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but it was done really creepy.
Oh man, maybe. Like for instance, I feel like we might do something eventually for Metroid, but a lot of the stuff fits that description. I mean, some of them are more thematic, like especially for Metroid, I think. But a lot of the themes are much more kind of ambient to the surroundings. So it's hard to get like a good melody out of there that works for a string quartet.
Yeah, definitely. What was another one that I would love to hear? What about the castle theme from Mario?
Great question. So the Mario theme is one that I did a bunch of years ago, and that's probably like the biggest theme that is missing, and it actually has to do with the limitations of string instruments.
Uh-huh.
So, and also I'm a stickler for being very accurate with my arrangements. So in order to go to do-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo, it's these octaves that are string crossing, and it sounds really awkward to play. And so I figured if we can't do it right where it sounds correct, then I don't want to do it at all. So my choices were to have this awkward octaves going back and forth, or to just go da-da-da-da-da-da, and to me that sounded corny. So a lot of times there are things that I want to do, but we just don't end up doing it. For instance, like everyone's always like, well, why didn't you do the ending theme for Final Fantasy VII, what's it called?
One Winged Angel.
Thank you. And I'm like, well, that is a gigantic symphonic piece with, 100 plus instrument symphony, and it's just, we cannot do that justice. Now, I did say that years ago, and now that I'm a little better at arranging, I might be able to figure it out, but, stuff like that I try to stay away from at the beginning, because it's just too hard to make it sound good with just 4 instruments.
Definitely, I understand that.
Yeah, for the castle theme, it's more of just that particular theme is just awkward on a string instrument.
what was I'm trying to think, I'm like racking my brain of like, the millions of video games that have come out since, the dawn of time.
Right.
I guess, Pong didn't really have a theme. Pac-Man only has that beginning little ditty. Have you seen the trailer for Pixels?
No.
You haven't? Okay, so Peter Dinklage and Adam Sandler fight video game characters like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man who have been brought to Earth by aliens.
Oh my god, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, they even have the creator of Pac-Man show up in it. He's like this really old Japanese guy, but he tries to stop Pac-Man from destroying New York, and Pac-Man, I think, runs right over him.
Oh my god.
I don't understand why aliens have turned our beloved video game characters into monsters to attack the city, but that is literally the plot line. And this, I swear to God, this movie looks like the next Battleship.
Oh my gosh. That remind you were saying like you said Pac-Man like takes over Manhattan. Is that what you said?
No, they attack Manhattan.
Yeah, so you're reminding me of like the first time that I played the new Smash Bros. That came out. We had 8 players, and we decided to do something stupid and all play as Pac-Man. And I guess since I'm sure there's some licensing thing with Namco or whatever where Pac-Man has to be yellow. So all they do is put a wristband on Pac-Man and Smash Brothers. So you see 8 Pac-Man on there. It's impossible to tell who's who. And someone would get like a Smash Ball, and then you just have a gigantic Pac-Man eating all these other Pac-Men, and it was just impossible to follow, but hilarious. Definitely not competitive. Nobody knew what was going on. It was crazy.
What system do you currently have for video games?
Well, I have most of the systems up to the new generation, and then all I have right now is Wii U, and I am waiting. I'll probably get either Xbox One or PS4 this year.
I just bought a Wii U last week.
Yeah, I gave in for Smash Brothers. I have been playing my brothers mostly because I was able to play, the basics, the both Mario games and whatever else I played.
My reasons for giving in for the Wii U are much more, let's say, on the adult kinky side, wanting to play Bayonetta 2. I mean, let's face it, that is Bayonetta 2, and I will go on record saying this, is the best game on the Wii U, and it's not even put out by Nintendo. It's put out by Sega. I'm sorry, I have this Sarah Palin kind of fetish.
I'm going to have to look into that.
And in the first Bayonetta, she looked like Sarah Palin. In the second one, she's cut her hair off.
Oh yeah, she does kind of look like Sarah Palin. That's funny.
They even have a Bayonetta anime movie out, which basically is just like the story of the first video game. And if you buy Bayonetta 2, you get Bayonetta with it.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to look into that.
Definitely. Well, hey, Chad, why don't you give out the website that people can find you at? I know you do weddings. If I get married again, I'm totally going to hire you guys to do my wedding.
Yeah. So that's actually, it's kind of how we started out because, so there's a little more to the story of how we started. So after I'd gotten 1 million views, I got like a random YouTube message that said, "Hey, I like your videos. Want to come play on a 5-star cruise ship?" And I thought it was, spam or something. But then he had an email address, and then the email address went to a website, and I looked at the website, and, I didn't get, like, a Trojan or a virus from it, so that was a good sign. It looked legitimate, so I emailed him back, and then I ended up getting a gig on a cruise ship for a couple months from that. And then we ended up playing video game music on a cruise ship, so that was fun. And now I don't remember where the beginning of that story was. What would you ask me before? I was going somewhere with it.
What did you just say?
What's the last question that you asked?
I said that if I get married again, I would love you guys to do my wedding.
Thank you. There's the connection. So I didn't really get the current Triforce Quartet to go on the ship because it's really hard to find people that just have nothing to do for 6 months, basically. And so someone that I found basically ran her own wedding company in the D.C. area, and then I ended up doing a bunch of weddings from her. And then as I was forming Triforce Quartet, since I'd done weddings with her, I knew how to book weddings and play at weddings. So we just turned it into our own kind of thing. So yeah, so I played at 150 or so weddings, or I have no idea, a lot of weddings. So that's a lot of fun because we can go to these conventions and people are like, whoa, you play at weddings? And then we get a couple people that'll email us and we end up playing at the weddings. And I think my favorite part about playing at weddings is that usually the people that are getting married love their video game music. They're like, oh, my parents, they want us to play the normal stuff, which is fine because we play everything. But I kind of give them suggestions of video game music that sounds like classical music, and I just say, don't tell them that it's video game music, and they'll think it's classical music, and they do. And it's just fantastic. It just goes to show, the stigma and ridiculousness of people just thinking, oh, it's video game music, so it can't be real music or whatever. So it's just a lot of fun to do stuff like that.
That's cool. I understand that. Well, hey, Chad, we will play a little bit of your music tonight when we air the interview. And as of for anyone tuning in, this is a recorded interview, so we will play it. Played it in the past and play it for tonight's interview as well.
Great. That sounds cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show with us, Chad. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.